Alright. Hello. So I'm just going to do a quick video on bedroom tone or apartment tone. Any kind of tone where you need to sound loud but you're not loud. So just got this guitar back. It's actually a pawn shop guitar, another pawn shop find. I went to a pawn shop and that's actually where I bought my Wampler the Doctor, which is a lo-fi deli pedal. Great pedal, but it was like $120, $110, and I saw this guitar. I was like, well, I kind of want that guitar too, and it needed a lot of work. Not a lot of work, but someone had cut the nut slots too deep, and there were just a lot of buzzy notes, some dead notes, and so I was like, and they had it priced at like $300, and I was like, well, I'll give you what did I offer them? It was like $325 for the guitar and the pedal. And at first they weren't really into it, but then I kind of explained why the guitar was not worth $300. Because this is like an Ibanez, I think it's like a Road Core. It's someone's signature edition. Chris Miller, maybe? I don't know. I looked it up once, but I forgot. I think that's Chris. Clint Miller, maybe? Clint Miller? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's his signature, whoever that is. And it's cool. It's a great guitar. I love the. I think it's kind of based off the Talman, which I love Talmans. A lot of my favorite guitar players, well, not a lot of my favorite guitar players. There's not that many people who play Talmans, but like Yvette Young plays a Talman, and Ichika plays a Talman. Noodles from The Offspring plays a Talman. So, which I was never a huge Offspring fan, but they're good, and he's a great guitar player. So. The Talman's just cool. I like its look and its shape. This is a little different. The pickup configuration in Talmans differ. Like the Noodles Talman has humbuckers in it, but this one, like the normal Talmans, the old normal Talmans, and now the new normal Talmans, because they just re-released like an Yvette Young signature, which I want really badly. It's expensive. Have like a Tele or a Strat configuration where they got the two, or they might have 3 single coils. You can probably change it up a whole bunch of different ways. But this has a soap bar, which actually sounds pretty good. And then this humbucker, which is a little hot, but I suspect that's because it's so close to the strings. Like, it is raised right up to the strings. So, anyway, this video is about bedroom tone. I just wanted to point that out because I do like this guitar a lot. It just needed some nut filling. They filled the nut so the slots weren't so deep. And that's basically it. It plays really well. Its action's pretty good. And it sounds like an electric guitar, which is exactly what I needed it to sound like. So, anyway, here I'm going to plug my pedal board in. I am going to outline, and this is not necessarily a secret, it's just a good advice video, because I played in my apartment, in my bedroom forever, and it's hard to make good tones. It's hard to, you need a cranked amp is a certain tone, and people love that tone, but you can't necessarily crank your amp all the time in all situations. So this is how you get sort of a cranked amp sound without actually having to crank your amp. First and foremost would be to get probably a smaller amp, because even I have a bigger box amp over there, and even when it almost needs to be cranked, because even if you're using this trick, it sounds a little thin and just not quite right. But this Fender Champion, I mean, it basically stays clean the entire, even when you crank it, it's a pretty clean, and it depends on like what settings you use, because it has 4 different amp models, amp settings, whatever. But I would get like a good amp that sounds good at low volume, probably might be solid state. I know some people are not a huge fan of solid state amps, but they make good ones, especially these days. And in the past, solid state's never really been a huge thing, but for me anyway. But so yeah, small, tiny little amp. That's a 20 watt, just super portable amp. I bought it so I could take it to and from school. It's amazing. It's super light. It weighs like 5 pounds. And then overdrive, which is, I mean, an obvious answer, but overdrives have volume controls, and overdrive controls. So as long as your volume is not super ridiculous. You can get a decent kind of driven tone. That's still pretty clean. But just turn your overdrive up. You're going to kind of compensate with your volume, because as your overdrive goes up, it just naturally pushes up your gain, which gives you more volume. But like, that's fairly quiet. I can talk over it. I mean, it's not. I've never had the police call. Well, I take that back. I had the police call on me in my apartment 3 apartments ago. I had a neighbor who just hated guitar. I was playing acoustic guitar and she called the police on me, but you know, whatever. And then you can stack overdrives, which is my favorite thing to do. And as long as your volumes are in check, you're not really going to get any louder. You get that really sustainy, really pushed tone. Slap on some spring. Yeah, that's not, like I said, that's not really a secret. You can probably find a whole bunch of people talking about this, but just get a good overdrive pedal that has a volume control, and I'm pretty sure they all have volume controls. The two I'm using is the Hot Tubes by Electro Harmonix, which is a great pedal, a little bit of a confusing pedal because I just don't know that much about what it does. I think it's pretty transparent. Like, it doesn't seem to change your tone a whole, like the actual tone of your guitar a whole bunch, but it has this tone switch, which when it's on, it's kind of taking away some like some treble almost. Maybe that's because my tone isn't turned up. Yeah, it kind of pushes mids and even treble a little bit if you turn your tone up. Obviously, that's what the tone knob on your guitar does. And then I also have this Danelectro Daddio, which is another pawn shop buy. It was like $30 in a pawn shop, and it's great because it's got a built-in EQ, which for $30 is like, you can't really beat that. It's definitely not transparent though. It's like 100% changes your guitar tone. But it's cool because you can kind of dial in tones and stuff with the EQ. And it's big, but it fits on my board snugly enough. So yeah, turn on some overdrives, a little spring reverb, a little slapback delay. and just keep your volume down. And there you go. I mean, you got good bedroom tones. That's what I did. That's what I've been doing in my bedroom/apartments forever. And then when you go gig and I don't know, play in your garage bands, you can turn your amp up and it doesn't sound. You're not used to the high gain push signal. But yeah, I hope that's helpful. I don't think there's much more to really outline. I love this kind of thing, these two stacked overdrives, and my afterneath, which is a modulated kind of reverb thing. I it's turned down quite a bit, because if you turn this up or turn the length up, it's a big old reverb, and it has it can have a very long tail, and I mean literally an infinite tail. I mean, you can turn this up to the point where it'll just wash out everything, which is cool. I like that. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Get some overdrives, stack overdrives. Stacking overdrives is really cool. Can get you some cool tones and also just that extra gain push. Because it's interesting to see how different overdrives sound together and how they push gain together, not just more, but like the tone that they give you. So that's that. Yeah. Hope that was helpful. Hope somebody got some